Welcome to Ask a Member. I'm Ann Hughes, President of the Adrian Area Chamber of Commerce, and it's my pleasure today to welcome Donna Baker.
Hi, thank you, Ann.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Tax season's over.
We're finally, yes, catching our breath after a very crazy tax season. Yes, yes.
Why don't you give us a little personal background and professional background?
Well, I'm a CPA. I've taught for Siena Heights for about 22 years, and I have a bachelor's from Siena, master's from Michigan State, worked for Ernst & Young, which is a very large accounting firm, started teaching at Bowling Green University initially, and then came back to Siena. So my background is very much education oriented. And then I opened a tax office as a sabbatical project, as kind of a hobby on the side that has very much exploded. So
now that's Tax Profilers.
That was Tax Profilers in the Adrian Mall, and that was 12 years ago. So we still have Tax Profilers, which is very similar to a H&R Block. It was imaged like that, but we have now grown into a full-service CPA firm. We have 5 locations across across Michigan. We have a location obviously in the mall, downtown Adrian, 102 East Maumee, right on the main four corners. The old bank building with the clock.
Bank of Lenawee.
Yep, the old Bank of Lenawee, the big clock. And then we have a location in Tecumseh, Blissfield, and in the Hillsdale-Jonesville area. So we do about...
I didn't realize you had that many.
Yes, yes. So we do about 6,000 tax returns. We do tax, every aspect of tax, from individuals, partnerships, corporations, trusts, many farmers. You know, my husband's a dairy farmer, so you know, farm returns almost have their specialized tax laws. You know, so we do many of the dairy farmers or any kind of farmers in the area in tax. And then we're a full service accounting firm, so we do a lot of accounting and bookkeeping. We have people that are certified as QuickBooks Pro advisors. So they're very familiar with QuickBooks. They do consulting. They help businesses set up. You know, and we do the full range from helping them get organized and do most of it themselves, versus we do it all internally. The whole thing internally, whatever that business needs. So we also have a person that is certified in debt resolution, which means that he has had several classes. If somebody has an IRS issue that they're having trouble resolving, or a back debt, or anything like that, he has specialized training to help resolve that. You know, he knows how to work through the politics and the bureaucracy of the IRS to get to minimize the impact on that tax preparer financially.
Is there a lot of that?
There is a lot of that, really, you know, because, you know, the IRS, as we all know, is a big organization, and it's hard to find the right person to resolve issues, and you know, especially with the economy that you know, we had trouble with that. Some people got behind on their payments, and so, you know, he has trained to go in to negotiate and try to settle that debt in a lowest possible amount that he can. So
it's good to know that service is here.
Yep. So we do a lot of tax, we do a lot of accounting and QuickBooks. And then about a year and a half ago, I bought a state-of-the-art payroll software program that really exceeds the functionality of the big guys, the ADPs, the Paychecks. So that has been growing significantly. We have 100 businesses on that. It's completely web-based, so you can access it from anywhere. You can access it from your iPhone, your iPad. Managers can log information in, employees can log information in, they can print reports, they can time clocks in and out from any place.
So it's what kind of company would turn their payroll over?
We have companies that have a one-person payroll, and we have companies that have several hundred employees. So, you know, we do, again, the gamut. This software is capable of doing several thousand employees. But like I said, it's state-of-the-art, completely web-based. The functionality is beyond what you could expect. It has a time and labor management, so it has time clocks that you can clock in and out. You can clock in and out through the computer. You can clock in and out through your iPhone. And then, of course, all the normal payroll functions. Things can automatically get direct deposited. Paycheck stubs can be emailed, sent to people's iPhone. It's got scheduling.
Isn't that
you know,
amazing?
the restaurant can scheduling, and they'll send they'll send an email to your employees to say this is your schedule for the week. And then it has a full human resource module too to keep track of all the necessary data that employers are supposed to keep track of within that package. So
technology
that's been
is huge.
It's huge.
Then in your
it's
business,
awesome.
Isn't it?
It's yes, it's huge. Yes.
Just think what it can do.
Yes. Yeah.
Question: Your tax profiler's business at the mall. At one time, was it just open more or less during tax time from the beginning of the year?
When we started as a sabbatical project, it was open, a lot of hours during tax season, and then two part days of the week after tax season. We continue with that model there, but every other office is open full-time year-round. Okay, because that does focus more on just tax and primarily individualized tax. And so the bulk of that work is obviously during tax season. The other offices are open year-round because we're doing the accounting and the bookkeeping and the payroll, which is a need year-round. And we do an enormous amount of tax planning for businesses, for individuals, as they go out through the year to make sure that they're first minimizing the amount of tax that they have to pay. There's always things that we can do to try to help with that. And that they're paying on a timely basis to try to avoid any kind of interest and penalties from the IRS at the end of the year for not doing that. So,
what do you like best about what you do?
What I like best, I think it's the educator in me, is I love working with the small to medium-sized businesses, either as they start up or as they expand or change in any way in the future. I love working with them one-on-one to be able to help them meet their goals in their organization and to exceed. And so, I've taught in the business division at Siena for many years. Plus, I've had the huge benefit of being able to work with a lot of companies, so I think that I can help them and give them some insight and guide them and make some good decisions for their future so that they can meet their business, their financial, their personal goals in the future. So that's really what I love to do.
Yeah, and probably, talking about your role as an educator, the fact that you have worked with so many businesses gives you a different perspective or an additional perspective in addition to the fundamentals of accounting.
Yes.
The accounting principles that you're teaching at the same time.
Yes, and it's fascinating. We've worked with so many different industries, I love to see how the different industries work and how they can be successful. So, I get excited about it, I learn a lot, and I think that it helps me to be able to share different techniques so other businesses can be successful from that too.
Okay, so they can learn from things that you have learned.
Yes, yes.
If you were talking to a new entrepreneur, somebody who was thinking about going into owning their own business, I mean, you've got 5 now.
Yes, right,
so
yes.
What would you tell them?
Do a business plan and work with your accountant and your attorney in order to do that. Because, there's even canned packages out, on the internet to start business plans, but, that really makes them think through every aspect of the business. What kind of resources do they need? What is their budget? Where are they going to get their funding from that? But beyond that, it's like, what is their niche? Why will people choose you versus anybody else? What kind of marketing seems to be the most productive? Where are you going to locate? What are your hours? It literally makes them sit down and think about every aspect of that organization before they open that door, or before they even spend the first penny toward it to say, is this what I really want?
Yeah, they need a plan.
They need a plan. They need a plan, and they need to understand how that new business will affect their lives and whether they're willing to do that.
And they need to realize how much of their life is going to go
how
into
much
that
is their life
business
is
and
right.
be willing to do that.
I make them say, how many hours does that business need to be open, and how many hours are you willing to work? And and if you're not willing to work, what does it cost you to hire somebody to be there? And what is your anticipated total revenue and your expenses? The Adrian Library has a great database to do some marketing research.
Right.
To say, in this rural population, you know, what would you anticipate your sales to be in the first year, in the third year, fifth year, as you're going into this business. So you can really put a very good plan together with those tools.
Yeah, there are lots of tools. You know, we have the score counselor, we have
Yes,
professionals
yes.
like yourself, the LEDC,
Yes.
just lots of opportunities. But
But
you
you know-
don't want surprises.
You know as well as I do, that's not the typical model. People get excited about what they're doing, and
And they
they're like,
jump
they
in.
just jump in and they do it, and then in hindsight, it's like, wow, if I would have done this or this, it would have even been more successful. So that's just what I try to get people to
think it through.
think it through,
Yeah.
plan
But
it out.
One piece of advice we got when we started, and I think you would appreciate it as an accountant, a gentleman from the Bank of Lenawee at that time that was working on our computers, and that we put in QuickBooks, and I wasn't an accountant. I went
Yes.
through Sienna's accounting program, but I
Yes, yeah.
cried through Sienna's accounting program.
Yes,
I was hopefully going to find somebody who could do our books, and he said, don't do that. He
Yeah.
said, learn it, do it yourself for the
Yes.
first couple of years so you know it inside out,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
find somebody to help
But
with
some
it.
people literally, and I try to encourage that, but some people literally just, they don't have the time, and that's not what their skill
Yeah.
is. So then hire somebody to
Yeah.
do it, but make sure you look at that data
You
on a
gotta
regular
know,
basis.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
got to know why that number is there, and
Right.
when you think it should be something else.
right.
And,
Look
and
at it
trace
on a regular
back.
basis, because some people get so wrapped up in that they miss the business
Mm-hmm.
aspect of it, or maybe their skills are better doing what they want to do. Hire somebody to do it, but don't ignore that data.
Oh yeah.
You know, that data is extremely important. It tells their story, and they need to look at it and understand it. And that's where we can help often with that information.
Definitely. Again, your location and your phone number.
Well, the main office is right downtown Adrian in the big building with the clock on it, which is 102 East Maumee. And the phone number is 266-2228 is the main office, and they can give you the phone number for any other office.
Okay, very good.
Okay?
Donna,
All right,
you.
thank
Have
you.
a good
All
summer.
right, yes, you too. Thank you.
Take care.